Hello and welcome back to Brothers in Arms Earned and Blood Extras number 3. I'm your host One Bodyman and we have still a little way to go. I hope we can go through all this today. Maybe I just make an hour episode now because I want to go to the next part of the series, and unfortunately the last part, House Highway or so. No, the village of Upto, right?
Subscribe, comment. You for your support.
The village of Upto lies just to the west of Corentin, a great density and elite German built area after the liberation of Corentin, and the US paratroopers had to force their way through in order to secure the peninsula. Yeah, that was a really hard battle. The road to Babtor was littered with destroyed German Stuck tanks and dead livestock the Germans used to pull their weapons carts. Today Babtor is like many other Normandy villages, and that hasn't changed much since the war. The Gearbox Service team was able to capture with modern equipment many original buildings and structures that were not destroyed in fighting. Babtor is a small village passing through on the newly paved road leaves one with the sense of leaving Babtor as quickly as one entered it. For the soldiers fighting here, for every inch forward, the town seems huge. I don't know if I pronounce that correctly. In Brothers in Arms Earned and Blood, the Gearbox design and art teams spent a good deal of time recreating an authentic and accurate depiction of this small town. The screenshot and images above compare the actual real-world location with the same areas in the game. Comparison continue. I can't remember this bridge, to be honest. Comparison continue. Nice. M10 Tank Destroyer. The American M-Tank Destroyer was designed as a fast, lightly armored vehicle with a heavier gun than contemporary tanks. Yeah, it has an open tower. The M10 was the first purpose-built tank destroyer and featured a powerful 76mm gun. The gun was mounted in a tightly armored open turret while keeping tanks' weight down. This design greatly decreased protection for the crew. The M10 was employed by the US, Great Britain, USSR and Rear French in all theaters during World War II. Over 5,000 M10s were produced for use by Allied forces. I like the design, it looks pretty awesome. FTX. In order to better understanding tactics and what being soldier is really like, the team at Gearbox Software spent several days at the field training exercise, directed and led by Colonel John Antle and his hand-selected cadre of professional soldiers ranging from Lieutenant Colonel down to Corporal and everything in between. What are those? Those were artillery, right? I have no idea. Looks like the M109 or so artillery, but I don't know. The group was divided into squads, was assigned a mentor from Colonel Antle's cadre, and was drilled through 6 training lanes that taught formations, fire discipline, grenade assault, defense, security, and other key concepts vital to small units in action. In addition to the live exercise, each squad took part in extensive classroom lessons and after-action reviews of every activity. After a full day and night of training, the squads were sent into combat as dawn broke. Many battles were fought and competition became fierce when teams faced off in tactical squad versus squad battles. In this photo, a fire team lays down a base of suppression fire from covered position. The concept of suppression and use of cover were drilled and through live simulation. Ooh, I was one time in soft gun. That was fun. But my muscles in the next day with so much pain. Many of the missions found in Brothers in Arms Earned and Blood were recreated during the FTX. In this photo, a squad playing the role of the Germans in defending the 88mm piece. 88 is authentic from the war. At the FTX, the designers of the game were able to fight through the virtual scenarios in real life. Interesting. Besides learning about squad-level tactics, the team also had the ability to command wheeled tanks. Because several chapters in the Brothers in Arms stories involved working with tanks, it was important for the team to get a real understanding about how tanks move and operate and how an infantry soldier interacts with a tank crew. The excellent training the Gearbox team received was thanks to an amazing group of professional soldiers who served as squad mentors at the game developers. Coincidentally, 3 of the squad mentors had served in the Modern Army's 502 Parachute Infantry Regiment of the 101st Airborne in Bosnia, Afghanistan or Iraq. What are those tanks? You can write me in the comments, that would be awesome. Production team, yes please. Are those guys really that young? Simon Hurley, Nick Neumann. Ah, this is Neumann, okay. Nick Wardle, Brian Martell, Randy Pitchford, Stephen Ball. Okay, choosing the title. Before choosing the name Brothers in Arms, the Gearbox team considered a number of concepts and designed for a possible game title. Shadows of War. Shadows. War. Oh, Shadows. War. Yeah. Call to Arms, World at War, Soldiers, Soldiers, War Game 1944, Brothers in Arms, Troops. Oh. Interesting. Call in Arms is a World of War is a title today. Soldiers, yes, I have this game. This is also awesome, and I will present it on my YouTube channel definitely. But we have so much way to go till then. I have so many games in my libraries. One of the earliest stages involved creating a concept treatment of the title, where we attempt to evoke a feeling from front and style of the design. These are some of the very first concepts considered as possible approaches. As the game's development progressed, the title selection process continued. Some candidates were discarded, some were refined, and others were added to the list of possible options. Troops. The lucky ones. Nah. Call to Arms, Soldiers. Wait, I have to watch my Soldiers game. I have the box, that's all.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's a little bit different. Not so far away. Limited edition also. Codemasters. Oh yeah, great game. The German 88. The 88 Flak series of gun would become the most famous German artillery of World War II. Allied troops would commonly refer to any German artillery piece as an 88. Okay. The Flak 36 was designed as a mobile medium-caliber anti-tank, anti-personnel or anti-aircraft weapon to fit the needs of both the army and the Luftwaffe. I'm not so sure about that. I thought first use of 88s versus heavy armor was in the African campaign by Rommel. That's what I heard. But I can be wrong. With telescopic sight and armor-piercing shells, the Flak 36 was a formidable anti-tank weapon capable of penetration of 210mm of armor at 2,000 meters. What? When using the anti-tank role, the Flak 36 would typically have a security detachment and a gun crew of 4: loader, gunner, spotter, and commander. Typically have a security detachment. Yep. The Flak 36 is primarily used in its anti-tank or anti-personnel role in Brothers in Arms and the Blood. Yep. We know that. I like this rifle. I don't know why, but I like it. The Fallschirmjägergewehr 42 FG42 or paratrooper rifle model 1942 was designed specifically for the needs of German airborne troops. The weapon, being a lightweight, high-powered, fully semi-automatic rifle, was an invaluable tool used to overwhelm the enemy during airborne assault. The FG42 was designed by Rheinmetall Borsig for the Luftwaffe and combined the best features of both the rifle and light machine gun. Features of the FG42 included a light folding V-port, an inline stock to reduce the recoil and a spiked bayonet, and mounting for the ZF-4 Zielfernrohr vierfach and ZF-42 telescoping sight. What is number 3? Stockline reduced the recoil, a spike bayonet. This is the... alright. The recoil was number 2. By the time the FG42 was fully developed, Allied bombing raids were crippling Germany's production facilities, and only 7,000 of them were produced, and only a limited number found their way into the hands of German soldiers. Okay. No ammo one? Hot Staff. Steve Palmer, Mike Attey, Scott Dudley, Evan Berkby, Michael Weber, Matt Graham, Eric Avalos, Alison Berryman, Angie Dietrich, Ben Henry, Ben Nitschke, John Riedenauer, Fred V. Eccles, Ryan Sullivan. All those nerds. Steve Palmer, and this is not mean. This is not meant to mean. Buzzer let me home. Buzzer was the first soldier to perish under Sergeant Baker's command. He died the night of June 6th during the parachute operation into Normandy. The night before the invasion, Buzzer wrote a letter home. Mama, tomorrow I will board a plane to France and hopefully fight bravely for what we both agreed to be just and worthy cause. I do not know exactly where this journey will take me. I just hope and pray it will be a fight I am readily bringing to the German-occupied doorstep of France. This will be the last letter I will be able to send for some time. Please do not treat this as a death letter, and please shed no tears yet on my behalf. I have too many things to come home to for this to be my final resting place. I hope all is well at home, and please give Samantha and Elizabeth a kiss for me. I do very much miss my sisters, T.C. Yours, David. N1 Garand. The standard rifle of the paratroops of the 101st Airborne and the US Army and Navy crew was the M1 Garand. The M1 Garand had a maximum range of 3,200 meters and maximum effective range of 400 meters, fully loaded with an 8-round clip. The M1 rated 11.4 lbs. The M1 was designed for semi-automatic firing using a spring steel clip containing 8 30.06 rifle cartridge rounds. This is where the term clip originated, and all other rifles use either stripper clips or detachable magazines. For the US soldier, this semi-automatic design of the M1 provided greater firepower for German soldiers, mostly equipped with K98 bolt-action rifles. The fire rate was just much faster. General George S. Patton called the M1 Garand the greatest battle implement ever devised. Second squad. Corporal Franklin Paddock leads the assault team of 2nd Squad. A Southerner who barely made it into the airborne, his attitude was a great obstacle from getting into what he thought was the best of the best. He eventually overcame his problems with authority and was able to channel it into becoming a really effective and aggressive soldier. Another private in 2nd Squad, and his name is Winchell, but everyone has called him the Friar. Since an unfortunate incident with clippers in training, he had hair like a friar for an entire day. He's quiet to a fault, but when the time is right, he will open up and yell until the job is done. Marsh has been in service for a few more years than the rest of the guys. He managed to have served the tail end of the African campaign. He was born in Oklahoma, in a small town he couldn't wait to escape. PFC Private Corporal? I have no idea. Corporal Jacob Campbell leads the fire team in this world. Coming from a small town where anyone went to the same church, Campbell wasn't well versed in the ways of the world. He hadn't really ever heard the swear word until he met the other men in his unit. Now he uses them all the time. A bit of first squad hothead who was known to mix it up with whomever got in his way. He let up quite a bit, but never really achieved a level of respect for anyone, just tolerance. A young man from first squad who couldn't wait to sign up for the airborne. He has lived all over Florida with his dad for his whole life. This is the first time he's been apart from him in his entire life. Eric McConnell. Franklin Paddock. A someone who graduated into the air, Voice actor comparisons. Troy Baker. Actor Troy Baker coincidentally voices the character Sergeant Baker. In casting the character's great care was taken not to be influenced by the actors' names or likeliness. The casting group only had access to voice samples when making their decision. Jeff Cribb's portrayal of Platoon Sergeant McCaskill quickly became a favorite amongst developers. He managed to capture the creative team's vision for Mac perfectly. Oh yeah, he really made a great job. That was really cool. The role of Colonel S.A. Marshall was particularly important because the entire story is told during the chronology of the interview. Marshall's Sergeant Hartsox. S.A. Marshall is a real historical figure and a famous one of those who have studied the subject. So finding Sean Henning's voice to capture him early was great luck. That's cool. Dave McGarry brought a natural plausible voice to Brothers in Arms Earned in Blood elite character Joe Red Hartsock. Hart is the 82nd Airborne Division soldier who befriends Hartsock. Robert McCollum lends his voice to this vital character. Campbell played Jeffrey Schmidt, is part of 2nd Squad, which was taken over by Hartsock when he was promoted to Sergeant in Cowatown. Pryor, played by David Dennison, is part of 2nd Squad, which was taken over by Hartsock when he was promoted to Sergeant. Marsh, played by Sam Williamson, is part of 2nd Squad, which was taken over by Hartsock when he was promoted to Sergeant. Paddock played Larry Brentley. Page, played by Chad Klein, is part of 2nd Squad. Cool. Casserole score. Oh. Okay. We don't need to go through all this, right? The music is really great. No wonder that games are so expensive to produce. The Maschinengewehr 42, General Purpose Machine Gun, or MG42, was first introduced into service by the German Army in 1942. The MG42 was designed from the ground up to the simplicity in design and thus easily mass-produced. Many consider it planned to be one of the finest machine guns ever created. The MG42 was famous for an amazing fire rate that would often melt or warp the barrel of the weapon. To solve this problem, the German engineered an ingenious barrel replacement system for the gun, like today at the MG3. The MG42 was one of the most fielded weapons on the battlefield. Weighing in just 5 pounds more than a bar, it was capable of firing its 50-round belt 3 times as fast as the Allied weapons. Okay. Since the volley this, I don't know. Ton of terribly liberated is now by US soldiers. The town of Zanzibar became a pivotal of the US invasion plan, which required the capture of Deepwater. Zanzibar was the westernmost town in the peninsula that, once liberated, would pinch off the area and ensure their allies control Java. As is clearly seen in this historical area, Fort Zanzibar sustained excessive damage from artillery and air bombardment. Undertaken primarily by the 82nd Airborne Division, the fighting from Zanzibar was fierce. This combat photograph from the US Army Civil Corps archives reveals a damaged cannon, a destroyed civilian vehicle, and an American soldier at the ready as his column passes a dazed local. Once the town was free of German occupiers, the local villagers surrounded the American liberators and offered their tanks and joy. With the liberation of Zanzibar, the American paratroopers had achieved their military objectives in Normandy. This photo is evidence of the troops and townspeople working together to clean up their rubble and begin the reconstruction process. Very kind of the soldiers, when it was not an order, very cool. Brothers in Arms March, Canton. Walker the Fort. In June 2020, the poster was spotted in the windows of every business in Canton, France. The poster announced the Brothers in Arms March. It took place on June 5, 2005. The day before D-Day is when the paratroopers flew from England to be the first soldiers to touch ground in the greatest invasion in the history of the world. On the day of the Brothers in Arms March, hundreds of 101st Airborne reenactors came to Canton dressed in authentic paratroopers gear out of respect to the man who spearheaded the liberation of Europe on D-Day. The group, donning the distinctive white heart of the 502nd pair in their Hammers, drove up the Canton Causeway in an M5 Stuart tank. Nice! I like that. More than 60 years earlier, the paratroopers traveled and fought on the same ground where the Brothers in Arms March took place in 2005. The Brothers in Arms March started with more than 200 soldiers in the center square of Canton and proceeded up the causeway towards Saint-Cloud-du-Mer. The destination of the march was the famous house at Dead Man's Corner, which has recently become a museum dedicated to the memory of the 101st Airborne. The Canton Airborne Museum at Dead Man's Corner, pictured here on the opening day, was made possible in part because of the attention the Brothers in Arms brought to the historical location. Many other historians, veterans and boroughs pledged their support and helped open the museum, founded by author and historian Michael D. Price. Feelings! Not cool. Okay, cool. Just a few seconds. This plan. I like. Okay, cool. Just a few more things to see. The 82nd Infantry Division was formed August 25, 1907 at Camp Gondong, Georgia. Since members of the division came from all 48 states, the unit was given the nickname All-Americans, hence its famed AA shoulder patch. In the spring of 1918, the division deployed to France to fight in World War I. In nearly 5 months of combat, the 82nd fought in 3 major campaigns and helped to break the fighting spirit of the German Imperial Army. By heavy losses. No, that's another story. With the outbreak of World War II, the 82nd was reactivated, and on August 15, 1942 became the 1st Airborne Division in the US Army. On that date, the All-American Division was redesignated the 82nd Airborne Division. In April 1942, paratroopers of the 82nd Airborne Division set sail for North Africa under the command of Major General Matthew B. Ridgway. I think I heard that name before. The division's first two combat operations were parachute and glider assaults into Sicily and Salerno, Italy on July 9th and September 13th, 1943. 3. Words. Difficult. On June 5th, 6th, 1944, the paratroopers of 82nd were among the first soldiers to fight through three German occupied fronts and parachuted into the Normandy front on June 6th, 1944. By the time the All-American Division was brought back to England, it had seen 33 days of bloody combat and suffered 5,245 paratroopers killed, wounded, or missing. In only 33 days. Wow. That's how much? So around about 170, 80 per day. Yeah, I think. The division's post-battle report read 33 days of action without relief, without replacement, every mission accomplished, no ground gained was ever relinquished. Cool. Ed Penish biography. Private Ed Penish, I don't know how to pronounce that story. Story is one of the courageous and commitment, and it's worth telling. Ed was born in Progreso, Yucatan, Mexico. He came to the United States on December 7, 1942, a 5'5" and 70-year-old. During the tough days of World War II, he had heroic dreams. Ed's dream was to become an educated man. Sponsored by his uncle in Paducah, Kentucky, Ed attended school, concentrated on improving his English, but also took US history, civics, literature, and math. In accordance with the laws during U2, all legal immigrants had to register for the draft before their 18th birthday. When he was informed that he would soon be drafted into the military, Ed, without complaint or reservation, volunteered for induction into the US Army and then joined the paratroopers of 101st Airborne Division. Lucky boy. Ed served with the 101st Airborne from D-Day to VE Day. Victory. He fought in Normandy during the D-Day operation in June 1944, rode a glider into battle at the Bush Market Garden in September 1944, and helped stop Hitler's panzers during the Battle of the Bulge in December 1944 to January 1945. Penish in 1984, 40th anniversary of Battle of the Bulge. Ed told Colonel Ansel, our leaders, for the generals to sergeants, were swelled. We were well trained, but the esprit the core of the Airborne helped us to overcome all challenges. I felt confidence, I was welcome, and it was strictly up to me to measure up based on merit and nothing else. I like that. For his... For his service in World War II, he was awarded the Purple Heart. Was what? I'm sorry for that. And 2 bronzes for Valor. Ed served in the US Army for 20 years. In the Army, he mastered French, Portuguese, and Vietnamese, served as an advisor and translator during the Vietnam War, and then as a translator for the Inter-American Defense College. Today, Professor Penish is a distinguished member of the 502nd Parachute Infantry 101st Airborne Division, an honor held by only a few. Ed Penish says, I learned in the army that the USA was worth fighting for and then freedom must be earned. In Houston, Texas. Tanks of Normandy. Once the beaches of Normandy were successfully cleared of the German defenders, the Allies began rushing in supplies and equipment. The first vehicle brought inland were the tanks. In the battles covered in ballistic arms, the paratroopers worked with the M5A1 Stuart and M4A3 Sherman tank. The German mechanized infantry in the rear were able to bring the Panzer Mark IV pitched above and the Stuck 3 fight against the paratroopers during the first critical 8 days. German tanks were well armored, had powerful cannons, and were very deadly to anything in their path. The German tanks commanders were also well trained, experienced, and knew the lay of the land very well. The German Sturmgeschütz or Stug and the Panzer IV tank had a high velocity 75 mm. Then it could penetrate the armor of the American Air Force Stuart light tank or the American Air Force Sherman tank at almost any range. The American tanks were easy to manufacture and were lighter and faster than the German tanks and with superb infantry support weapons, but it has had disadvantages in the tank-on-tank duel with German armor. The Sherman's low velocity 75 mm could not penetrate the frontal armor of the heavier German tank. German tanks had to get very close to destroy the German Stug or Panzer IV tank and usually had to attack the German tanks from the flank or rear to get the kill. Yeah, hard. Okay, nah, we'll unlock the old movie cheat. Okay, wait. Story. Begin game. Easy. Reset options. Input options? No. Performance? Medium. Why? Suppression indicators? No. Heck. Quit? Yes. No. Custom maps? Mutators? I don't have any cheats. Okay. Then I thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Have a good night. Have a good fight. And see you next time. It was a pleasure. Bye.